Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can strum through a song called Why Am I the One by Fun. And it starts out with this cool little intro lick where you can play that. Oh, and we're going to end up capoing this on 4th fret to match the recording. But you can start out with the open D twice, and then we go to this cool little lick where you could go 4th fret on the D string, and then do a hammer on the 5th fret, but then do a pull off right back to the 4th fret on the D. So 4-5-4 is kind of this hammer on pull off. And then we play open D, and then 4th fret on the A, and then 3rd on the low E string, open D, and then we kind of do that 4-5-4 lick again, but then we play open G, and then back to 2nd fret. And then we go right back into that lick. So D, D, F sharp, G, F sharp, D, C sharp, G, D, F sharp, G, F sharp, G, A. So you want to kind of play around with that lick. It might be kind of a cool way to kind of intro the tune. And people will be like, oh my gosh, why am I the one? I love this song. And then at the end, we kind of have this cool little walk where we go 3rd fret on the low E string, 2nd fret on the low E string, open E, and then open D, kind of around the G chord. So G, F sharp, D, we kind of let that hang. Now if you wanted to, you could just kind of back that up with chords though, and we'd start on a D major chord. When we play D major, first finger goes to the G string on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the high E string 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord. That sounds really, really happy. And then from the D major, we can kind of back up that other lick with a G major chord. When you play G major, first finger goes to the A on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the low E string on the 3rd fret, and 3rd finger on the high E string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now another way you can play your G major is putting the 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret, pinky on the high E string on the 3rd fret, and if you strum all those together, that's another way you can play your G major chord. So you could kind of back that up with kind of just that G major, it's kind of just working downs. Or a lot of times with a song like this, to make it more interesting, I like adding something called a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4-4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So if you took the D and just tried that a lot, you'd have down, down, up, down, up, down. We'd have D, down, up, down, G, down, up, down, D, down, up, down, G, down, up, down. And then we kind of get into our verse part from there. We got the D, down, up, down, G, down, up, down, D, down, up, down, G, down, up, down, D, down, up, down, G, down, up, down. And you have that little G walk, and then B major, and you can kind of work that G walk into kind of around that chord to kind of make that work. Now another strum pattern I would think about through the song though, especially later on, is something called a 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot to the beat, right now we're kind of dividing that beat into 2 parts with our down, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you divide that beat into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns is long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And what I mean by that is if you take the D and do it down for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you do on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you're doing a down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And then on the third beat, you're doing an up on 2, down on 3. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. And on the last beat, you're going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. It's all together. You got down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. So we tried that in with our intro verse. We have D, down, down, up, down, 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 up. And then from there, then we go into kind of our next verse. So actually, we just kind of stay on kind of that G and the G major. So we just want to kind of keep that going with the down, down, up, down, up. Kind of digging on that strum pattern. Or if you're digging on the 16th, then you can kind of work it that way. Down, 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 down. And then from there, then we go into kind of a pre-chorus where we start on the G major, and then we go to a D major. But it sounds like that F sharp note is in the bass on that second fret on the low E string. And you could kind of put those together, and that's something called D/F sharp, or D with an F sharp in the bass. Where you could do like just your thumb over the low E string on the second fret and kind of follow that bass note on the low E string that way. Or you could do first finger on the low E string second finger on the G string second, third finger on the high E second, and the pinky on the B string third, and kind of play a D/F sharp that way. Or you could kind of work something called D/F sharp, where you do first finger on the low E string second finger on the G string second, third finger on the B string third, and the pinky on the high E string third. So it's almost like moving from that G major to the D/F sharp. Might make it a little bit easier that way. And then from there we go into an E minor chord. When we play E minor, first finger goes to the A string on the second fret, second finger on the D string on the second fret, and if you strum all those together, that sounds an E minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. Now you may want to take a couple other fingers. You can take the third finger and kind of add in the B string third fret, pinky on the high string third fret. That sounds something called E minor 7. And then we kind of do that walk 3 times actually. That G, D, sus, E minor, G, D, sus, or D/F sharp, E minor, G, D/F sharp, E minor. And then at the very end, we do a big build up on an A major chord. When we play A major, first finger goes to the D string on the second fret, second finger on the G string on the second fret, and third finger on the B string on the second fret. And if you strum all those together, then that sounds an A major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now randomly, another A you may want to think about is doing first finger on the D string second finger on the G string second, third finger on the B string third, and the pinky on the high E string third. And if you strum all those together, that's something called A7 sus. So you may want to think about that if you're kind of just digging on leaving that third and fourth finger down. And then the A, or you could even kind of combine those two, actually doing the A7 sus and then working into an A major kind of hit could be kind of a cool thing there too. And then from there, we'll be going into our bridge part where we start on D major. Oh, what if we're going to do our strumming through our pre-chorus? Well, the weird part, if you're doing down, down, up, you'd have G with a down, D sus with a down, E minor could have a down, down, up, G down, D down, E minor down, down, G down, D down, E minor down, down, and then we got that A build up. If you're doing the 16th note, you can kind of work it as a down, down, up, down, down, up on the D, down, and then a down, down, up on the E minor if you're digging on that. So G down, down, G down, down, E minor down, 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 G, D, E minor, G, D, E minor, and then the A. So you may want to kind of play around with that too. And then from there, then we go into something that kind of feels like a bridge part, where it's more just downs on the chords we were talking about. G, D, G, D, and then an A. And there's this cool little walk on that A chord where you play open A twice, second on the A string, fourth fret on the A string, second fret on the D string. It's kind of like a little walk up there. A, B, B, C sharp, E, on that part. And then from there, then we get to our chorus part. And our chorus, we start on D major, but then we go to the E minor, A, G, D, and then a G, and then an A. And if we try that with our down, down, up, we'd have D with a down, down, up, down, and then E minor and A are going to have A, G with a down, down, D, down, down, G, down, down, up, A, down, down, up. So doing a lot of that halving with the down, down, up. Or if we tried our 16th, we'd have D, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, E minor, down, down, up, A, down, down, up, D, down, down, D, down, down, up, G, down, down, up, A. And there's kind of this big hit on the A at the very end of the chorus. Now the weird part is to play along with the recording though, instead of starting on a D major chord, fun's actually starting on an F sharp major chord. So to play along with the recording, what you want to do is take a capo, And if you put the capo on 4th fret, then now your D is really an F sharp major. Your G is really a B major chord. The D, or your E minor is really a G sharp minor. And your A is really a C sharp major. But to take it from the very beginning, you may want to kind of work those licks. And I know that's a little weird because now you're not really on those frets because of the capo. But that might be kind of a cool way to kind of intro the tune, is kind of going back to those intro licks we were talking about. So that's a little weird just because of that. And then you kind of be hanging out on those licks for the D and then the G lick until we get to that G wall, 3, 2, open D. Or you could strum through that. And then you'd have the D with a down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, G wall. Or you could try that with the 16th and have D. Then we're going into our next verse. So we've added D, G. You can word that with the 16th, or you can word that with the bass note. We end up doing that D and G 3 times, kind of for our second verse, until we get to our pre-chorus part. And on the pre-chorus, we could kind of strum through that pre-chorus, and we have G, D, E minor, G, D, E minor, try that with our 16th pattern and have G, D, E minor, G, D slash F sharp E minor, G, D slash F sharp E minor, A, build up. And then we're going to hit that little bridge in the middle where we go to the D. And you may just want to work just downstrokes for that. G, D, G, D. Then on the A, you could kind of hit the A. Digging on that. And we're trying to throw in little pieces of the chord. And then from there, then we'd be going into our chorus part. So we tried our chorus with our down, down, up, down, up. We'd have D, down, up, D minor, A, G, D, G, A. Or we can try that with our 16 and have D, down, down, up, down, 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 D minor, down, down, up, A, down, down, G, down, down, D, down, down, G, down, down, and that big A. And then from there, we'll be going into our next verse. So we'd be back to the D, down, up. Oh, but something else that I like to add to a song like this too is bass notes. And actually, we got a couple bass runs that we're actually already kind of working. So with the down, down, up, or the down, 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 up, down, down, up, you could throw in a bass note actually on that very first down of the chord. So on the D, you have the D string for the bass, unless it's the D slash F sharp, in which case you have the Louis for a bass. Down, up, down. On the G chord, you'd have the Louis string for your bass. On the E minor, you'd have the Louis string for the bass. And on the A string, you'd have the A string for the bass. So we tried our next verse with a bass, down, up, down, up. You'd have D with the bass, down, up, down, G with Louis bass, down, down, D with the D bass, down, down, G with Louis bass, down, down, D with the D bass, down, down, G with Louis bass, down, down. Or you could try adding in basses to the 16th and have bass, down, 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 G, down, 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 B, down, 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 G with Louis bass, D with the D bass, G with Louis bass. We go into our pre-chorus, so we could add kind of basses to our down, down, up, and have G, D, E minor with the bass, down, G, down, D, E minor bass, down, G, down, D, down, E minor bass, down, and then kind of that A build up. Or if you're doing it with the 16th, you could have G with a bass, down, D slash F sharp, down, E minor bass, down, G bass, down, D with the bass, down, E minor bass, down, down, G bass, down, C such F sharp, E minor, A major. And then from there, then we'd be going into our next chorus. So we tried our chorus with a bass down, up, down, up. We'd have D with the D bass, down, up, down, E minor, low E bass, down, D with an A bass, down, G with low E bass, down, D with the D bass, down, G with low E bass, down, A with an A bass, down. Or if we tried that with our 16th, we'd have D with the D bass, E minor, A with an A bass, G with low E bass, D with the D bass, G with low E bass, A with an A bass. And then from there, then we go into a chorus tag where we kind of half a G and a D. And then we kind of do a big hit on E minor, and then kind of a big hit on A, and then we kind of have another push on A with the down, down, down. So you may want to kind of play around with that, or we could try that with our 16th with G with a bass, down, D with a D bass, down, 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 A. Or you can even work that as a big build-up. From there, we'd be going into kind of a little chorus variation, where we'd have the D with the D bass, down, up, down, G with low E bass, down, up, down, E minor, low E bass, down, up, down, G with low E bass, down, A with an A bass, down, D with the D bass, down, up, down, G with low E bass, down, up, down, E minor, low E bass, down, up, down, G with low E bass, down, A with an A bass, down. Or we could try that with our 16th and have D with the D bass, G with low E bass, E minor, low E bass, G with low E bass, A with an A bass, D with the D bass, G with low E bass, low E bass, G with low E bass, A with an A bass. And then from there, then we go into a chorus part, and it's a little weird. We're on the D, and then that kind of that E minor, A, and then things just kind of break into an a cappella part. So you could do this just voice, or you might want to kind of back it up with the chords actually, just to kind of support your voice. And then from that, then we're back into kind of our strum pad chord, kind of the music kind of coming in. So you could kind of work that as kind of a break if you wanted to. G, D, G, A, and then we repeat that D, minor, A, G, D, and feel free to mix this up any way you want to. A, and then we kind of hit our outro where we go back to the G, D, and then kind of big E minor, big A, and then you kind of hear the intro licks coming back, and you could kind of bring those licks back. So you want to kind of think about using those at the end. And then we got kind of a D, G, A, G, A, and then kind of a big D, or at least I would. But that's the basics of how you can strum through Why Am I the One by Fun. So good luck!